Unlock the secrets to simplified court case searches in Sarasota County. Whether you're a concerned citizen, a budding journalist, or a legal professional, this vital guide is absolutely going to transform your approach. Stay with us to empower your search skills today. Whether you're dealing with a civil lawsuit, a criminal proceeding, or a family court matter, trying to find the right documents can honestly feel pretty overwhelming. But today, we're going to navigate that maze together. Our goal for this explainer is to take you from feeling totally overwhelmed by bureaucracy to confidently locating the exact documents you need. And the best part? Doing it securely and entirely for free. If you've ever needed to run a background check, track a local court proceeding, or, hey, just figure out what on earth to do with a traffic ticket, you are exactly in the right place. We've got a great roadmap for today. We'll cover your right to know, unlocking ClerkNet 3.0, a step-by-step search guide, rules and privacy limits, offline access and fees, and wrap up with some essential tips and disclaimers. Part 1. Your right to know, the foundation of public access. Let's kick things off with the most fundamental question. Why do you even have access to these files to begin with? Well, it's not just some special privilege. It's literally hardwired into the state's legal framework. Here's the deal. Florida's robust Sunshine Law actually guarantees your right to inspect these government records. It's a real game changer for transparency. This law makes the clerk of the circuit court and county comptroller, which is currently Karen E. Rushing, the primary custodian of all this in Sarasota County. Basically, whether it's a tiny small claims dispute or a massive criminal docket, if it isn't specifically exempted by statute, it is completely open for your inspection. Part 2. Unlocking ClerkNet 3.0, your digital gateway. So, now that we know your rights are locked in, let's look at the main digital tool you're going to use to flex them, the ClerkNet 3.0 portal. This is going to be your go-to secure public records utility. The Supreme Court of Florida actually mandates 3 distinct tiers of access on ClerkNet. If you're a complete beginner and just want to poke around a public docket, you're in the first tier. No account needed. You just click General Public User Access and you're in for an immediate anonymous search. But keep in mind, anonymous users can't see document images for family law, juvenile, or probate cases. If you want a little more visibility, you can step up to a standard registered user by just filling out a quick online form. But for the absolute deepest access, like if you're an attorney of record, a certified law enforcement officer, or a direct party to a case, you fall into that third tier. That one requires you to actually print an application, get it signed in front of a notary public, and email it to the clerk's administration team to get verified. Part 3, Step-by-Step Search Guide, Finding the Data. All right, with your access tiers sorted out, let's get into the nuts and bolts. How do you actually turn a name or citation number into actionable info? It really boils down to 3 straightforward steps. First up, just punching your details, like the party's name or maybe a citation number. Next, review the events. If you scroll down to the case events section, you can pinpoint the exact time, date, and physical courtroom for upcoming hearings. And a quick heads up, if it's a virtual hearing, you won't find the Zoom ID directly on ClerkNet. You'll need to grab that from the 12th Judicial Circuit Court site. Finally, step 3 is a fantastic advanced tip. If you're a registered user, you can actually hit Subscribe on a Case to turn on the Case Watch service. It'll shoot you automated email alerts the second a new document gets filed. How cool is that? Now, here is a super common roadblock for beginners. A lot of people panic when they can't find their case right away. But here's the thing. While criminal cases usually pop up in the system almost instantly, a recent traffic citation definitely won't. Law enforcement officers actually have up to 5 days to file the ticket, and then the back-end processing can take another 3 business days. So, to put that into perspective, if you literally just got pulled over, you might have to wait up to 8 days before that ticket finally shows up in the online lookup system. Don't sweat it if it's not there on day 1. Part 4, Rules, Privacy, and Limits. What you cannot see. Okay, while transparency is definitely the rule here, there are some very strict legal boundaries put in place to protect vulnerable people. It's absolutely crucial we understand these ethical and legal limits. So what happens if a court case just suddenly vanishes from the public database? Imagine you're doing a routine background check. You know for a fact a case exists, but it's entirely missing. Well, that brings us to a really important and honestly somewhat mysterious legal mechanism. You see, the Sunshine Law is broad, but it requires mandatory redactions for privacy. You are never going to see social security numbers, bank account details, or the names of minor children in these public filings. Plus, if a judge orders a case to be sealed or expunged, the clerk publicly posts a notice for 30 days. But after that 30-day window, that record is completely scrubbed from the online public database. Poof! It won't show up in any search whatsoever. If you legitimately need access to a sealed case at that point, you're going to need to bring in personal legal counsel or make a direct manual inquiry with the Public Access Department. Part 5. Offline Access and Fees. Navigating Physical Records. Of course, not every single document is digitized, especially when we're talking about historic records. Let's look at how you access files offline, check out the physical courthouses, and see what this might cost you. $2. Yep, this surprisingly low number is the mandatory baseline statutory fee per name per year if you need the Public Access Department to run a manual database or historic microfilm lookup for you. Now, if you're submitting a request by mail, fax, or phone, which usually takes about 3 business days to process, you've got to include some specific fees that are strictly set by Florida statute. A standard page copy is just $1. If you need a clerk certification, which verifies and seals a standard public record, that adds $2 per document. And if you're looking for an exemplified certificate, which has that formal constitutional sealing you often need for out-of-state legal proceedings, that'll run you $7 per document. If you ever need to visit in person to use the public access terminals or get some help from the court clerks, you need to know exactly where you're going. The Sarasota County Historic Courthouse on Main Street is going to be your main hub for criminal, civil, and family law filings. Down south, the newer South County Courthouse in Venice is a fantastic full-service branch that just opened in 2022. But if you're dealing with jury duty or probate and guardianship, you'll want to head over to the Judge Lynn N. Silvertooth Judicial Center. Oh, and one quick aside. If you decide to request records by phone or fax and pay with a credit card, just remember there's a standard 3.5% processing fee tacked on. Part 6, Essential Tips and Disclaimers. All right, before we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a few practical edge cases, some advanced tips, and of course, a couple of vital disclaimers to keep in your back pocket. Let's look at a super practical scenario. Say you get a traffic ticket for a broken taillight. Dealing with this doesn't automatically mean a drawn-out court battle. For an equipment violation like that, you can usually just fix the defect, get an affidavit of compliance certified by the sheriff's office, and submit it with a $94 fee within 30 days to clear it up. Or what if you just forgot your proof of insurance, but it was actually valid when you got pulled over? You can usually get that dismissed for a tiny $10 fee. Keep in mind, though, serious violations, like going 30 miles per hour over the limit or passing a stopped school bus, absolutely require a mandatory court appearance. Finally, if your license is suspended because of local past due obligations, you have to look into Operation Greenlight. It's an amazing statutory program specifically designed to help people save on collection fees and get their driving privileges completely restored. Here's a critical advanced tip that honestly trips up so many people. Local records are decentralized to preserve checks and balances. We often think of Sarasota County as this one giant unified system, right? Well, it's not. If you want property valuations or tax info, you have to search the county website at scgov.net. But if you're looking for court filings, criminal cases, or traffic records, you must go to sarasotaclerk.com. This basically means that if you want a complete history on a person or a property, you're often going to need to run parallel searches across multiple platforms to piece it all together. And as always, please remember that this explainer is strictly for educational purposes to help you understand the resources that are out there. Navigating the legal system can be incredibly complex, and trying to interpret legal terms or judgments on a docket can have some really serious implications. So you should absolutely always consult a licensed attorney or a legal professional for any specific questions or concerns regarding your unique legal situation. It is an incredible power to literally hold the keys to your local government's transparency right in the palm of your hand. You now understand your rights under the Sunshine Law, you know how to navigate the different tiers of ClerkNet, and you even know how to resolve minor traffic tickets without ever stepping foot in a courtroom. So now that you have the tools to navigate the justice system, what public records will you uncover to better understand your community? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and happy researching.